Hey Gweta Gang, I hope you guys are having a beautiful Monday wherever you're in the world and that you're looking forward to the week ahead. Today, I'm back again with your Motivation Monday video and today's topic is fear. So my question to you is, are you living in fear or is fear holding you back? As per usual, I have my little notebook so that I don't forget all the stuff I want to share with you guys. Basically, the word fear is described in so many ways, but my definition of fear is basically describing our emotional reactions to something that seems dangerous. That's basically what I think fear is, and I might be talking about fear and you might feel like, Saka, you are fearless or you don't fear anything. I do have my fears, but I have found ways to conquer them, and these are what I want to share with you today. I know you might be wondering, what is this girl all on about? Like, fear, what are you trying to talk about? Right, so the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what I mean by fear is holding you back. A common example of fear is anxiety, and basically anxiety is an emotion caused by feelings of tension and worried thoughts and physical changes like increased blood pressure. I'm going to give you an example of how, for me, there was a lot of fear and anxiety that played a role in my life in 2020, then the pandemic. So in 2020, I started off the year unemployed and I didn't have a job. I applied for a couple of jobs and there was no luck. In March, however, I then managed to go back to the firm that I was working for in 2019. I was there for a month and then we got into lockdown. I was in Zimbabwe at this time. And then, so at that point, I'd also applied for another job, and because of the pandemic, we couldn't do anything about it. So I couldn't go for the job interview. That was that. Also in the same year, in 2020, I'd also applied to do a master's. That was going well. And, at this point in March, like things started rolling in, like my acceptance letters and all that other stuff started rolling in. And I was pretty excited about that. And then, so we're now in lockdown pandemic. So I now became very anxious and I was now living in fear. In fact, fear was holding me back. So at this point, I was like telling myself, you're not going to go do your master's. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. You're not going to get that. You're not just going to go forward in life. But it wasn't until I actually having a couple of conversations with my mom was actually pretty helpful. I saw my anxiety and fear, in as much as it was still there, kind of decrease as my mom really tried to remind me of the God I serve, of who God is in my life, what God can do for me if I was to go to him and trust, if I was to trust in him, that he would do all exceedingly abundantly above all that I could ask. And so my mom really helped me overcome anxiety and fear just by reminding me of the word of God and what my Father in heaven can do for me. So fast forward, we then got out of lockdown, like the first lockdown. And so the law firm then said, we sent an email to the law firm, like as the interns, and we said to them, so when are you expecting us back at work? They said, sorry, we're not taking you guys back. So unemployment knocked at my door. So after that, I then was just chilling at home. I did a couple of online courses. I then pushed my side hustle or my business, which is ShambalazByGweta. I will leave the link below. Right now, I'm not doing it in Zimbabwe or anywhere in the world unless it's the UK, but I am making plans to, do worldwide shipping. Anyway, that's not the point. So I did that, and I was okay, and I was occupied, I was busy and all that other stuff. Now came time to apply for the visa, right? We've paid fees, we're applying for the visa, right? So we paid for the visa stuff, and there was no appointments on UKVI's website. Guess what? Fear and anxiety came back like that, like it was, I'm like, ah. Anyway, so Then we I really just was anxious. I was stressed. I was tired. I was living in fear. I'm like, but what if I can't go to the UK? We've paid for all of this stuff. What if my visa doesn't come out on time? And all this crazy stuff. I just kept asking myself all these crazy questions, right? Because I was living in fear. In fact, fear was holding me back. My point of this story is a lot of us are living in fear. In fact, fear is holding us back. All the false evidence that is appearing to be real. But no, you should not live in fear. Yeah. In the Bible, it says in Isaiah 43 verse 1, but now, O Jacob, listen to the Lord who created you. O Israel, the one who formed you says, do not be afraid, for I have ransomed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. So God basically commands us not to fear or to worry. Do not worry about anything. And did you know that the phrase fear not appears 80 times in the Bible? 80 times. Yeah. And God knows the enemy uses fear to distract us, our hope, to decrease our hope and limit our victories. But you need to stand firm on the word of God. I'm going to leave you with 4 things that I think are useful when it comes to overcoming fear. They really played a really good part in my life, where I asked myself these things and I saw the change, and I realized that, you know what, I should not allow fear to hold me back. So the first question is, ask yourself what you would do if you were not afraid. Yeah? What would you do if you were not afraid? Number 2, look for the possibility behind the fear. What is causing that fear? A lot of us, our fears right now are stemming from just this crisis that we're in. I mean, it's a year into the pandemic now, and we're all just still like afraid of what tomorrow holds. Will I wake up tomorrow? Will I not catch COVID if I go to the shops? Would this not happen? Would that not happen? But look for the possibility behind the fear. Just because we're in a pandemic, I've said this in one of my videos, just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean your life is over. Doesn't mean that you have to stop what you're doing or you can't continue or progress in life. This pandemic is just an opportunity for you, if you've lost your job, to use your talents. Maybe that job was just a stepping stone for you to connect with people, meet new people, so you can grow your own business. Take that chance, take that opportunity. This pandemic is actually giving you that opportunity. Number 3 is utilize peer pressure. I know you're probably thinking, but wait, how am I supposed to use peer pressure? Guys, not all peer pressure is bad peer pressure. So you could actually utilize peer pressure, because like, I mean, you know, with peer pressure, your friends will be like, or your family or whoever it is will be like, do this, do that, do this, and they're trying to pressure you into doing it. Sometimes when you're afraid of something and somebody pressures you into doing something, it might actually end up being your breakthrough, what you really needed to become a better version of yourself, or to become the best possible version of yourself. Number 4 is you need to visualize success. I mean, for me, that was something that was fantastic. I was afraid of coming to uni, and I was like, but why am I coming in the middle of a pandemic? But at the point where I started visualizing all that is possible after I finished my master's, the opportunities I have, what I can become, it actually really helped. It actually really helped me get over my fears. So if we look at the story of Gideon, for example, Gideon demonstrated a lot of fear, anxiety, and doubt. But when he finally put his trust in God and obeyed the Israelite, when he finally put his trust in God and obeyed, the Israelites were freed from 7 years of oppression. This brings me to Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. What I get from the story of Gideon is that you should never be afraid to trust an unknown future that is known by God. The moment that Gideon started trusting in God, he obeyed. And like I said, the Israelites were freed from bondage. So instead of allowing yourself to be held back by fear, instead you need to face everything and rise again. Have a blessed Monday. See you next week. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.